Hey, this is Reddit Stories. I am reading stuff. Today we will be continuing with r/pettyrevenge. Hit the subscribe button if you're new here. Now sit back and enjoy the stories. Burning Man Petty Revenge Shenanigans. My camp, Iceberg Cowboys, has an ongoing prank war with the Philharmonic camp, Frozen Oasis. Last year they stole a whole bunch of our ice furniture and giant icicles, set it up around their camp and replaced it with a bunch of their furniture and several bottles of champagne. This was likely in response to our 7 p.m., 7 a.m. techno party which not everyone in their classical music-minded camp enjoyed. But it's the burn, so instead of being woozies about it, they pranked us complete with notes such as, "Hey, we heard your DJs downloaded a second song." In response, we decided that if they wanted some of our stuff, they could have all of our stuff, so we proceeded to carry several large pieces of our infrastructure including a 30-feet diameter dome and a 400-pound wrought iron Iceberg Cowboys sign over to their camp and bolting it to the ground in their camp with 14 inches lag bolts. Good, clean and good-natured fun. We all had a laugh about it together, traded witty barbs, and enjoyed many bottles of champagne together the next morning. This year, on Sunday night, before gates even opened, one of our icicles disappeared and magically reappeared down the street in front of Frozen Oasis. They returned it several hours later, but we had already noticed, and it was game on. Our burn barrel for disposing of burnable trash has our camp logo cut into the side of it. So, we decided to swap burn barrels with them, left a bottle of champagne in our burn barrel, knowing that our logo would clearly indicate who was responsible and where their burn barrel could be found. As we knew they would attempt to steal it back, we bolted their burn barrel to the ground in front of our camp with several 14 inches lag bolts. Sure enough, the next night 15 people in polar bear onesies, our logo as a polar bear, clearly they had planned ahead on pranking us again, showed up in full covert ops mode to steal back their barrel and return ours. They weren't aware of the bolts though, so we easily caught them in the act but let them proceed knowing full well it would be extremely difficult to unbolt their barrel from the ground without proper tools, impact driver etc. One of the polar bears whipped out a Leatherman and proceeded to try to unscrew the bolts by hand. While she was making progress, it would have taken her several hours to complete the unbolting, so after 15 minutes when it became clear she was not going to give up, I brought her our impact driver and pulled the bolts for her. As they drove away with their barrel, they yelled back that they had left us a present in our burn barrel that they returned. And in fact they had left us gifts stacked inside our burn barrel to the tune of several very nice bottles of wine and champagne, special chips that allow us to skip the line at their awesome all-day slushy bar and a slew of custom engraved mugs. The kicker was this, they had taken the ash screen and welded it shut over top of the barrel, so we could see everything inside but couldn't get to it. Took an hour of popping tack welds with a crowbar to get it open. God, I love Burning Man. If you enjoyed this video so far, don't forget to like and subscribe to help us make more videos. Annoying roommate back in college. Back in college when I lived in a dorm room, I got assigned one of the most annoying roommates ever. He would always be bragging about himself and how smart and strong he was. Anyway, one day, there was a big earthquake, this was Southern California, and after the quake was over for a few hours, he shows up in our dorm room and starts telling me that he's as fast and nimble as a panther, not joking. He said that if another big quake ever hits us again, he'd survive because, get this, he'd jump out of the window of our 7-story room and grab onto a tree that was growing outside about 20 feet away while the building crumbled to the ground with me in it. You know what I'd do? I'd jump out the window and grab onto that tree because I'm like a panther. I'm a panther, you see? And I can save myself because I can just grab on that tree, whatever, I tell him. Anyway, it's getting late and we both turn in for the night. We share a bunk bed. I'm on the bottom and he's on the top. As if to make it perfectly clear how panther-like he can be, he leaps into the top bunk with one mighty jump. An hour later, he starts snoring and it wakes me up. I get pissed off at him and I'm thinking to myself, this is my chance to get rid of him. So I grabbed the frame of the bunk bed and started shaking it as hard as I could. And you know what happened? That moron woke up and thought it was another big earthquake. And just like he said, he leapt out of bed, like a panther, I suppose, and, instead of jumping out the window like you'd think he would, he opens the door and runs out into the hallway. Before he gets very far, he hears me laughing like a hyena. If he can be a panther, I can be a hyena. He comes back in and I ask him, why didn't you jump out the window like you said you would? And he says, F you. And then he climbs back into bed and pretends nothing happened. Idiot. At least I had a good laugh at his expense. Hit the subscribe button for more daily Reddit content and press the bell icon to get notified when a new video is uploaded. Also, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, it really does help the channel. If you have any ideas, suggestions, let us know in the comment section. See you in the next one.